Today is the day. If you want to see me repress this sleek blush that I received from Steph and it didn't do well in travel, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and yes, we're going to take care of this ailing blush. It is a very full pan and it is very much shattered. And we are going to attempt, the royal we, going to attempt to repress it. And I thought I would do it with you because it's always a little scary to repress products, and have no fear, it always seems to work out. And I thought that before getting into fixing this injured puppy, that I would show you a few of the products that I have recently repressed so that you can see that it's not as scary a process or result as one might think it would be. So what I have here are two Becca highlighters. I have a mini and a full size. And this mini is the, this one is the Opal. And this one I have repressed. You can still see the marks of the paper towel, but I think that you will agree that it's looking pretty good and reasonably solid. And then I have this one, which was, this was a sad one because I had never used it and I dropped it, and it was a nice Year of the Pig design on it, and I never got to use it with the design, but that's okay because it is looking pretty darn good as a repressed product. So I'm hoping to have the same type of success today with the sleek blush. So if you are curious to see what the process is, let's get right into it. So first off, let's talk about what I have here. I obviously have my Ailing blush, and then I have my ramekin in here, which you want as a container with a smooth surface on the inside so that you can properly mix the crushed powder. I have a makeup spatula, which is a very significant tool for me whenever I'm doing one of these. Some paper towel for pressing. This is also important, an empty pan, because it's very hard when this is a very full product. And because you mix it with alcohol, it's a bigger volume than the original. And so it's a good thing to have an extra container for the extra that will just naturally happen. You want a high percentage of alcohol, what's it called in English? Isopropyl rubbing alcohol, 70%. And also a product that you can use to repress. And what I did was I checked the dimensions this way for this perfume bottle, and it is going to match very nicely the size of the pen for repressing. So that's what I'm going to be using that for. And I think that we have everything needed to get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this powder into this ramekin, and I'm going to crush it down, and then we'll add the alcohol to mix it so that we have a putty that we can put back into this container. So let's get going with the transfer into the ramekin. Okay, so that is now empty, and what I'll do off camera is I'm going to be washing it so that I can repress the powder into a clean compact. Now we have the powder in the container, and what I'm going to do is use this spatula and just basically crush all of the powder as best as I can. Okay, so I have a reasonably crushed up powder, and now what I want to do is add some alcohol. And you have to be careful not to add too much, so it's a lot easier to add some more than to have it dry and be too liquidy, because otherwise you'll end up losing a lot of product. The less putty-like it is, what happens is that it becomes too liquid and it gets absorbed into the paper towel. I'm just adding a little bit, just like that, and I'm going to mix it up again, or mix it up for the first time, I should say. I'm just going to cover up the alcohol and move it out of the way so there's no accident. Okay, so what I'm doing is moving around the powder so that it absorbs the alcohol. And as we can see, it's pretty dry, so I'm going to add some more. Trying to be careful not to add too much. And I'm mixing it up some more. Okay, that looks like it's going to be pretty good, a pretty good putty-like substance. And now what I want to do is make sure that all of the powder has been wet. And so that just means going back and forth a number of times. And so this is pretty much the consistency that you want. You want it to be almost like Play-Doh and not too liquidy. So that is looking pretty good. I'm going to move the camera because I realize I need a spatula to transfer the contents of this ramekin, so hang on. Hopefully you're in about the same spot. This is the spatula I needed to go and get, and it was in the drawer, which is, the camera is butted against it right now. Okay, and I think you can see why I want a spatula, because it's going to be hard to get all of the product from the base of this ramekin. Okay, now I have cleaned off pretty much everything with this compact, and I'm going to transfer, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to transfer what is in the ramekin into this little compact here. I'm going to do first off with the spatula. Would be better for you if I were right-handed, I think. I'm going to put as much as I can in the compact, and we'll see if there's too much product or not. We want to spread it out a little bit. Hopefully you can see. There we go. Spread it out into the compact. Getting into the corners. And the putty will adhere to the edges. There we go. Sorry about that. The camera angle is a bit challenging. Okay. And I keep going. To every corner. And it just kind of ends up sticking to the corner. I'm going to use my spatula and get some off the makeup spatula and continue the process. And it does, if it seems like it's starting to dry already, it is. And I'm going to see if I can add just a little bit more. I might be able to fit all of it back into the compact. We're going to have to see how that works. Okay, let's try to even that out again. Yeah, this might work quite nicely, we'll see. It does look like we're doing okay still, so let's try to add more product here. Depending on how much alcohol you put in, the volume increases, but it looks like I gauged it pretty well, so I think we can put more product in. I might not need that extra pan, but sometimes you do. I think I can put all of it back in. Sometimes the contingency plan is not needed. Hopefully it's in frame. Okay. And let's see what's left, just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to use this little spatula to grab whatever is left. These little silicone spatulas are fantastic. You really don't lose very much product by using them. Okay, and you have some time, but the product is drying because it is alcohol. So it's drying as you go. And so you don't want to wait too long to get these last little bits out and placed into the pan. One last little transfer. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to repress what we have done here. And you'll see it's a bit of a mess, but with the proper size press, which I'm going to use sideways like this, and the paper towel, you can get the product to lay flat onto into the pan. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put the paper towel down and then do my best to have the edge along the edge of the compact. So I'm going to press in, not too hard, and that's looking good. I hope you can see. So I'm going to press again, just along that line. And again to the end of the compact. And you have some color transferring to the paper towel, that's normal, some of the pigment. And that went really well to get some of the alcohol off. And you see that's the first attempt at repressing, so I'm going to go and do it one more time to try to get more alcohol out. So another part of the paper towel, same process basically. On one edge. And now that it's a bit drier, you can get more precise with the placement. And I'm pressing down a little bit more because I know that it's not lifting up with the paper towel. Because if it's too wet, that's what's going to happen. It's going to lift off. The product is going to lift off with the paper towel, and that's never a good scene. And now because it's a bit drier, I'm going to just turn this over and hit the other edge of the compact. And again on the other edge. And as the mixture gets drier, you can press further down and you won't have spillage over the edges. Okay, and it looks like there's not quite the consistency in the middle there, so I'm going to press it one more time right here to try to get it even. See what that looks like. Okay, I just ran my finger along the edges to get any of the powder away from the edges, and it looks like it is pretty solid of a repress to me. And I did not need to use the extra container. And the extra container would have been needed if I had put too much alcohol in and would have had to let it dry before repressing. So this is very successful. The only thing that I would try to do is to get some of the powder off the very edge on the top, because it's going to end up cracking and flaking off. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take the spatula and try to work the edge off. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking the edge of the spatula and running it along the edge so that there's no powder going over the edge of the pan. I'm going to wipe off what I scraped off. You just want to make sure that you're not skipping the edge of the pan. Okay, and here we go. Here is the end result. It has had a chance to dry, and I am super, super pleased with the end result. It's exactly what I was hoping for, and I cannot wait to use this blush, which is called the Flushed Blush, number 935 from Sleek. Thank you again to Steph for sending it my way, and I will be using it soon. Well, that's it. Repressing done. It is as good as I was hoping it would be. It has had a chance to dry, and I cannot wait to use it. And I'm going to give it a full day to dry, and we'll probably try it in a look tomorrow. Yeah, I'm super, super happy. Thank you to Steph again for sending it my way. And hopefully the camera angles were reasonable and I was able to show you most of the process. It was a little bit tough to set up this ring light and camera without it kind of toppling over. So hopefully it worked out. And if you have any questions or comments regarding the repressing process, or you're planning on doing some repressing with powders and you have some concerns, please leave me a set of comments or questions down below, and I will do my best to address them, and hopefully you can have some success as well. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.